blood injury. How do you view this? I mean, don't you think that the police or the administrative could have reacted more forcefully or reacted in a much more calibrated fashion, sir?
Brajesh ji, good evening. I have been Senior Superintendent of Police in Nainital for 3.5 years. Things were not half as bad when Mrs. Indira Gandhi was assassinated in 1984 and I was the SSP. And therefore, I would say that the administration should have been more firm, more proactive, and should have come down like millions of tons of bricks on the rioters. Vandana Singh, the district magistrate, is on record to have said that the drone footages did not disclose the storage of brickbats 3 days earlier. How come that after 72 hours, all the rooftops were full of Molotov cocktails, brickbats, and also country-made weapons were used to attack the police party and the administration and the corporation staff? Now, this is just not acceptable. There should be consequences and deterrence of a type, as Mr. Dinesh Sharma said, that the successive generations, would not forget what happened to the perpetrators of this riotous situation. Only 10 arrests. I would have expected at least 200 arrests by now. And invoking the provisions of the National Security Acts, as also the UAPA 307 of the IPC, 332 of the IPC, so that people would remember that this is just not lucrative or in any way fashionable or in any way beneficial for them or their families to attack the police or men in uniform. They represent the might of the state, the police stations, the uniform, and the men and women in the police force. Now, to say this, to your question, the subsequent part of the question, that yes, if there had been anticipation and actionable intelligence, which I feel there was a lack of, then I think things would have been very different. But now, better late than never. At least now, pursue all those who are absconding or who have gone underground, those who provoked the crowds, those who brought the crowds out of their homes, and indeed took measures to attack the police parties and also the corporation staff. They not only vandalized the vehicles, indulged in wanton arson activities, they also attacked and chased away the police personnel. Now, this is just not acceptable. I would advise them to use artificial intelligence, facial image recognition software, identify all the rioters and the hoodlums and those who have passed record, and bring them to book and give them a lesson of a lifetime.
Well, absolutely, because the visual which were playing, when Pushkar Singh Dhami, the Chief Minister, was meeting, the might of the state looked very badly bruised and beaten, which was an unfortunate, scene to witness. Mr. Rana, how do you view this violence which happened yesterday? The policemen were caught unawares, the massive stone pelting saw to it that, hundreds of people, police personnel and, the Nagar Nigam people who went to ensure that demolition could take place. How do you view this? I mean, isn't that a big failure on the part of the government to have not anticipated this at all?
I would not say it's a failure of the government, because I look at a totally different way altogether. When you're talking about any kind of anti-encroachment activity, Muslim encroachment has not only happened in Muslim area, also it's happened in the Hindu area. So no one has faced any kind of agitation against encroachment or municipality people or against the police. Whenever they have entered in the Muslim community, they have reacted, and it was well expected after the UCC, the UCC Act which Mr. Dhami presented in the Vidhan Sabha. It was well expected, because if you look at the incidences, it's not coincidence. It was well planned. Look at the stone, how they have collected stone. Look at the petrol bumps, how they have done it.
Would have thought about it, Mr. Rana. Shouldn't the government have thought about it? If I go by exactly what you're saying, wasn't the government caught napping? Shouldn't they have been much more well prepared after introduction of UCC?
Okay.
Or is it a welcome sight seeing those police officers, badly bruised and beaten?
Yeah, any form of the body, they will have some kind of intelligence. I'm not denying. There was about 4,000 policemen. It's a huge amount. It's not a small amount, but it was not expected this kind of reaction is going to happen, number one. And why you are reacting when you are doing this kind of activity? It was on the basis of the order which High Court has passed, number one. The government was trying to implement the order given by the court, number two. Number three, when you believe in the court and the law of the land, then you have to follow. Number four, obviously I heard that there was a mosque, there was a madrasa. Do hadith or any Muslim, as per the Muslim law, you can make or build any mosque or any madrasa on disputed land. No. So that is the conspiracy which has been built. And it's nothing new. Obviously, if you look at from 1975, it's been there. It, it's been there in the system. And Congress has been doing this activity. Look at Indra Hirdesh and his son Sumit. Look at the statement of ex-chief minister of Uttarakhand. So you need to look at all the parameters before reaching to the conclusion. But you cannot behave this the way people, the Muslim community has behaved towards the authorities. Number 5, you can do the politics. Politics is absolutely, you can do it. Your opposition party is there on the power, you can do the politics. But please understand, if any illegal activity which is going on and supporting by any ways is supporting a terrorism. So this kind of activity should not be acceptable. And near about 100 plus policemen were injured as per the report which you're showing to us. But how it's happened, the police or government authority has to take a call, and they have to have different, I would suggest that government should make a different law, because these kind of activities, stone planting is keep on going and
Okay.
increasing everywhere across India. So there should be a law, different law to take care of this kind of people. But why is happening?